it just really makes life a lot better. So that's what I do. That's a little bit about me, since so many of you guys are new, and maybe some of you guys that aren't super new didn't know any of that stuff about me. I want to talk today about Google and weight loss. So many of you guys here in this group are interested in health, and you're also interested in losing some excess weight or excess body fat. So I want to talk about Google and weight loss, which are two things that really don't seem like they should go together, but I'm going to explain in a minute, okay? And at the end, I've got 2 tips to share with you that's going to help you in this process, so make sure you stay to the end of the video. Okay, so I want you to imagine that you've got your phone or your laptop or whatever your favorite device is that you use all the time, okay? I think most of us use our phones as the computer most of the time. I want you to imagine you open up your browser, so it could be Chrome, Safari, whatever, and you get to your little search bar, okay? I'm gonna call it Google for the sake of this video. So you're in your little Google search bar and it's blank, right? And this is where you type in a question, okay? So, I mean, a lot of us, we're not typing in questions anymore. I'm aging myself, but I'm from the Ask Jeeves generation, which, really funny sidebar, real quick. My husband and I met the person who started Ask Jeeves, his parents recently, a few months ago. We were at a restaurant sitting at the bar, and we just started chatting with the couple next to us, and it turns out that their son started Ask Jeeves, which, some of you guys are going to be too young to know what that is. But anyway, in the Ask Jeeves generation, it was basically like the start of Google before Google was a thing, and you would actually type a question in and then you would get your answer. Well, now you don't have to type in a full question, but if you think about it, when you're Googling something, it really is a question. You're just shortening it to keywords, okay? So I want you to imagine that you type in Google, why is it so hard for me to lose weight with PCOS, okay? You could type this in for anything. I know not all of you guys have PCOS. So why is it so hard for me to lose weight with PCOS? What do you think will come up in your results? What you'll end up getting is a list of all the reasons why it is hard to lose weight with PCOS. So it's going to tell you all of the roadblocks and the obstacles and the hurdles and all of those things. That's what you're going to get in your search results. So you're going to get maybe articles or blogs or different things that come up saying it's hard to lose weight with PCOS because you've got this, right? And I want you to imagine, if you do that, how you would feel. Because I know for me, I would not feel empowered. I would not feel capable. I would not feel like this is something that I'm ever going to be able to do for myself. I would feel kind of defeated. I would feel like I have lost hope. I'm not going to be in a place where I'm going to want to take action, right? It's going to kind of like stifle that desire to actually make a change, okay? So now, put that on hold. I'd like you to now imagine that you've got your blank search bar, and instead you ask, you say PCOS weight loss success stories, or you say tips for losing weight with PCOS, or something like that, right? And now I want you to imagine the search that's going to come up. You can actually do this when the video is over. You can actually do these different searches and see what I'm talking about. So the results that will come up when you ask that question are going to be things like blogs or articles or resources that actually show you people who have lost significant amounts of weight with PCOS, or people who have listed out tips for you, 5 things that you can do when you have PCOS to help you lose weight, right? And then from there, you can make a plan of action. You can choose one of those 5 things to start trying. But imagine how you would feel when you see those things. Now you feel hopeful. Now you feel like you can do this. Now you feel like you want to make a change because excuse me, it's actually going to help you out in the long run, okay? Sorry guys, I should have brought water here. So it's just a blank Google search bar, right? So this is a literal thing. Like, I actually want you to consider this when you're using Google, because we all Google so many things, right? But I'm going to tell you what the metaphor is in a second. So when you're asking questions inside of Google, I want you to be really careful about the way that you word things. Just take a second to make sure that you're wording things in a way that's going to give you the knowledge and the evidence that's actually going to help propel you forward. Okay? Don't set yourself up for failure by typing in things that's going to make you feel like you are not capable of doing this, because you are, and you just have to find the evidence that you're looking for. Now, where the metaphor comes into play is that when we ask ourselves questions, or when we're thinking or talking to ourselves, our brain is just like Google in that it doesn't like an unanswered question. Our brain wants to answer the questions that you ask it. So if you ask it something like, why am I so unlucky? Your brain is actually going to scan for things in your life and times that you've felt unlucky. And what you're going to end up is basically with this list inside your head of all the things that have gone wrong in your life. And from that place, there is no making the best decisions. There's no showing up from a place of positivity. There's no making actual progress towards whatever you're trying to make progress towards in your life, right? So I want you to also be careful, not just about what you type into Google, about the questions or the thoughts or the things that you're putting inside your own head, okay? This takes practice. So the key here is not to then beat yourself up. Don't find yourself asking a question that's not serving you and then say, oh, you stink. I knew you couldn't do this in the first place, because that's really just not going to help you either, of course, right? So it's just going to be a process. Just understand that this is something that takes time. If you're retraining your brain and your thought patterns, it takes time, right? Because a lot of these things are habits that you've had for so long. But just be aware of the fact that the questions that you're asking yourself will then lead to the way that you feel and the action steps that you're going to be willing to take from that place, okay? Now, let's get into the tips here, because the thing is that if you're in a rut, if you're already feeling depressed, or you've lost hope, or you're feeling angry or sad, or any kind of negative thoughts, you're not necessarily going to be able to just snap out of it like that and then just start asking yourself the most amazing questions and finding the evidence that you need. So I have 2 tips that you can start using right away the next time you're in a cranky mood. For me, they work the fastest out of anything else that I've found, okay? So let me share them with you today. Number 1 is music. So having a list of a couple of songs, or your favorite song, or an actual playlist that you put together that pumps you up. We've all got those songs. We've all got those songs that make us remember something happy in our past, or that make us want to move our bodies or dance, or they just put us in a good mood instantaneously. The songs that when they come up in your headphones, you never skip over them. You know those ones I'm talking about, right? So these are the songs that just put you in a good mood. Think of those, and if you can't think of them off the top of your head, just start a list and keep it as an ongoing list. And the next time you hear a song, just be like, oh, I'm going to add that to that list that Tara was talking about. All right, this is going to go on my happy list, okay? And it doesn't have to be a ton, right? Because we can change our mood like that. So just a couple of songs is perfect, or one playlist. And go to that playlist or those songs when you're feeling crummy, because it can change you like this, and then you can start to try to think those better thoughts, search for those better questions, ask yourself the better questions in your brain as well, okay? So I'm just readjusting here. So that's my first tip. My second tip, and I want you to listen to this with an open mind, because it's something that everyone's talking about, but really try to listen to this with fresh ears today. Gratitude, okay? And I want to explain, because everyone's talking about gratitude, which is awesome, but I think a lot of times when we are used to hearing things over and over again, we don't actually listen. We sort of tune it out. But I want you to listen to what I'm saying here. If you can get yourself into the habit of writing down what you're grateful for on a daily basis, you can say 1 thing a day, 3 things a day, 5 things a day. I wouldn't do much more than that, because you don't want it to be something where it takes up a huge amount of time and then you're starting to make excuses because you don't have time. So you want it to be something that really just takes a couple of minutes. So I would say 3 to 5 things a day that you're grateful for, and you write them down. Now, it's a double whammy, because number 1, you are able to change your mood in the moment that you're writing those things down. Because this has been proven, you cannot have a negative thought and feel grateful at the same time. So sure, you could do your gratitude and then go back to your negative thoughts afterwards, right? Sure, that happens. But at least in those moments that you're writing down what you're grateful for, you cannot also then be thinking of a negative thought. So it's a quick way to just break out of that cycle if you feel like you're in a rut, okay? So you break out of that cycle. But the other awesome part is now, if you know that you have to write down things that you're grateful for every day, you're going to be looking at your day differently. You're not necessarily going to be only seeing the negativity in things. You're going to start to look for the positive things, right? I'm going to tell you why this all ties back to the weight loss thing in a second. So you're going to write down the gratitude, and here's the other thing. You need to be very specific. So I don't mean writing. A lot of people will say like, oh, I do gratitude. It's like, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my house and things like that. And while that's awesome to be grateful for that, that's not specific enough. What you really want is to be specific about things that happened very recently, like in that day, or if you do gratitude in the morning, it could be like from the day before. But what happens then is that you're actually looking for these things throughout the day. So it could be like, instead of saying I'm grateful for my family, it could be I'm grateful that my family and I all got to sit down and eat dinner together last night. I'm grateful that I got to spend some time with my mom yesterday. I'm grateful that, for this delicious meal that I'm eating. I mean, it could be silly. I'm grateful that the birds were chirping this morning. Whatever. It could be whatever tiny little baby things, but you really want to find the smallest things that are very specific, and those are the things that are going to add up, because every day it's something different then, right? And then you're looking for those things throughout the day. Now, to wrap it all up, Rachel says, thank you, these are great tips. Oh, great, thank you, Rachel. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate you watching. To wrap it all up, why am I talking about this gratitude and the music and whatever? Okay, because if you can change your mood and you can get yourself to a place where you're not feeling so negative, you're not feeling so down or hopeless or in a rut, then that's where you start to make better decisions for yourself, okay? I think we could all agree, I certainly know it's the case for me, for the people that I know in my life, and for my clients, that when we're feeling down, depressed, angry, all of those things, that's not when we're choosing the healthy food. That's not when we're spending some time meal planning and prepping and planning out what we're going to be eating for the next few days. That's not when we're getting up and running out for a workout. We're not making those healthy choices then at those times, right? So really when it comes down to weight loss, fat loss, getting healthier, creating more healthy habits, the more we can change around our mindset and our state, the more that we can then do and take action on, okay? I've done videos on this before, but basically you have a situation which leads you to a thought, and that thought that you're thinking, that's what leads to a certain emotion. And from that emotion, you're either going to take a positive action or a negative action, which could be inaction, right? Like skipping your workout, that's sort of like inaction. But from your emotions, that's where we take certain action. And of course, based on the actions we're taking, that's what's going to give us the results, okay? So if you're in a place of negative emotions a lot, you're not having the same control over the actions you're taking, and so you're not going to get the same level of results that you're looking for, okay? So the more that we can sort of intervene. Now, please understand, I'm not saying that we don't have negative feelings. We're humans. We're all going to have the same spectrum, wide spectrum of emotions, both positive and negative. But it's just a matter of like sort of letting those feelings come and go and having tricks and tools and systems in place that sort of pull us back up a little bit quicker. Because once we can get out of that funk quicker, then we can get back on to making our better decisions for ourselves, okay? So that greatly impacts weight loss. I promise you, I've seen it time and time again. The more that you can change things around, the better your decisions are and the more confident that you're feeling, and then you're going to start to see those results that you're looking for. By the way, if you are new here, then you'll know just from this video, I talk a lot with my hands. I'm not Italian, but I talk a lot with my hands. So I hope that's not too distracting for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you are new here or if you've never introduced yourself to this group before, please in the comments below, let us know who you are, why you're here, and tell me where you're going. Okay, so let's change this around. Instead of telling me what you're struggling with, Tell me where you're going. Like, I'm working on this. Like, I'm going to get this. Put it in a positive way. Try to reframe that, okay? So we can start to practice these tips right now. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.